Angry guy here, and her sugar daddy dumped her when the sex didn't live up to his expectations. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now, let's begin. So, the woman we're discussing today, her boyfriend, very wealthy boyfriend, decided that he was not happy with the sex that she was providing in the relationship. And as a result of that, he called off the relationship and basically called it quits. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that video right now and explore things a bit more. I think it's a kind of a wake up call for a lot of women who think that they're the prize in the relationship, when I constantly remind you guys that the man is the prize.
Oh my God, okay. I just came from the gym. There's not even lotion on my face, so please, okay. My dog wants to say hi to y'all. So I've been listening to you, been listening to Share like literally daily, right? Did all of the things. Before I even get started, like one thing I had to work on is my own emotions. Like I know that I have to like figure that out. I've been in therapy, I'm divorced, whatever. So I live in the Washington, D.C. area, met this guy. He lives an hour away from me in Baltimore. He's definitely in the 1%. We're both Nigerian. He comes out the gate like talking about his expectations. And he asked me, what do I want? Like he tells me he has a list. You know, he asked me, what do I want? And I just said an unlimited Amex. Like I felt like that was just, you know, I can cover everything else, right? So he was like, okay, fine.
You told him when he set his expectations, you just said flat out, unlimited Amex to him.
Yes, because his vibe is like he really wants a support, you know, like a wife, kind of like all the things, like a really feminine, submissive woman, right? He's very clear about what he wants. He's divorced as well. So he was just telling me what he wants, like straight up. He wants like 2 more kids, you know, just like literally listing things.
He wants 2 more, so he already has children.
Yes, he does have kids. So he's not that much older than me though. And like, I feel like usually hypergamous relationships work with people who are much older than you. He's 6 years older than me. So I didn't know if the age gap was like big enough, but he was really into me. So I went with that. We went on several dates. The first date, he came to me. Again, we live an hour away. The second date, I agreed to go to him. The third date, he was supposed to come to me, but something happened. He was just getting off a plane. I was just like, oh my God, I could come to you. I shouldn't have done that. I went to him. Fourth date, he's like, okay. He sends me the link for the place. It's beautiful. I look at the address. It's where he's at. And I was like, I can't come to where you are. Like, he's like, why not? I was like, I have a nail in my tire. The next day, he replaced it. He like tells me to go to the spot over the phone, pays for 4 brand new tires, right? So I'm like, okay, perfect. I could come to you. That's fine, right? That night, he asked me to be his girlfriend. Elated. I'm like, everything I've been doing is perfect. Like, I love it. I'm so happy. Like, I feel comfortable in the idea of having, I don't want to say transactional relationship. Like I was kind of judging myself at a time for like wanting this hypergamous relationship and not wanting to like fall in love and like Disney story and all that kind of stuff. I was judging myself, but I think I'm more comfortable in like knowing what the expectations are, knowing what you're going to give, what I'm going to give, right? So as he's asked me to be his girlfriend, he's again listing out his expectations. It's like Ashley, he's like, you have to stay in the gym. You have to learn how to cook my traditional food because we're both Nigerian, you know, and other things. I'm like, okay, cool. He asked me again, what do I want?
What are the other things? Just go down the list.
I don't remember everything because they were kind of basic, honestly. They weren't like crazy, but the only 2 things that stood out was like my weight or like staying in the gym, his favorite soup, and don't be clingy. Sometimes he comes back from work, he just wants his own space. Like he literally said that. He was just like, you know, you don't have to be all in my face. Go watch Netflix, go shopping, do whatever you want. Like, that's what he said. And I'm like, okay, bet. So he's leading with money, okay? He's always talking about money, right? Awesome. So that night, like I hadn't slept with him, like even with the tires and everything, I hadn't slept with him until he asked me to be his girlfriend. I sleep with him.
So that's the oldest trick in the book, honey. The oldest trick. He get you, gotcha. He gets you, gotcha.
See, this is what I feel. Okay, all right. I think I already know what you're about to say. But so the next day, like, he asked me to work from home from his place, which I love because he has like a beautiful like penthouse, like overlooking the harbor. It's gorgeous. Like, who doesn't want to work from there? That day too, he loves my dog loves him, my dog loves the place. It was great. Like, he let the dog sleep in the bed and everything. It was fine. Which I, thought he was not gonna like that because my dog sleeps with me, but it was fine. So I have my own business. So I'm on calls in the morning. He came from the gym. I heard him come and leave. He texted me that he left. And I was going to say to him, like, can you leave the card on the table in case I want to go out and get lunch or something like that?
Okay, so just so we're clear about where we are with the story, you go to his house the night he decides to make it official. You're his girlfriend. You finally cross that line. You have said you are intimate. The next morning you wake up. He's on a call. You're in the gym. You got to stay fit. You come back upstairs. He's about to head out. So you're like, hey, babes, you can call him babes now because you guys are together. Can you leave the card on the table? This is where we are in the story.
This is where we are, but except for it's switched. I'm already on the call. I wanted to say to him to leave the card on the table, but I was on a call. So he just texted me that he was leaving because he didn't want to come into the camera where I was at. So he just texted me, have a good day, whatever. And so I didn't get a chance to ask him for anything. Ashley, this man is kind of intimidating to me, okay? He has a very fancy house, not to sound like ratchet or anything, but you know how you pull out the trash can and it has either trash or recycling? He has 4 different compartments. So I'm not a cleaner or whatever. He has a chef, he has a maid, he has a designer, he has all of the things. So I don't really know exactly where I fit in to this, and we'll just put a pin in that. But I didn't really...
Before you go further, it sounds like you're saying you don't feel like you're enough for him. That's what that sounds like to me, but we can keep going before we go back to that.
I'm not gonna throw that out. I kind of talked to my therapist about this a little bit too, and they feel like I feel like I don't deserve this, which I don't think is inaccurate as well. I think I just did all the things. I usually look cuter than this, I know. But I feel like whatever. So I'm just in his house kind of feeling nervous. I think he makes me nervous. He's very intimidating. He's a big boss, whatever. He calls me. I'm actually in therapy, and he's just like, oh, what's up? How was your day? And I was like, oh, I'm about to leave. He was like, oh, I wanted you to stay. And then I was like, well, I haven't showered yet. He's like, ew, and we're joking around. So I hang up the phone, and then after therapy, I decide maybe I shouldn't leave because he said he wanted me to stay, right? So I eat my leftovers from dinner the night before and take a shower, and I'm just watching Netflix. He comes in hesitantly to the room and is pissed or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, maybe he had a bad day at work. I'm not going to get in my head about it because, I have anxiety. I'm just like, okay, let me just not even think too much about it. He goes downstairs. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here, stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, I don't remember what I said, to be honest. He's like, well, I have jerk chicken downstairs. So he goes down. I'm like, naturally, I want to go down and be like, how was your day? Da, da, da. But I didn't. I just stayed in the room because he was saying that he doesn't like all of that after work. So he comes back upstairs, gets in the bed, falls asleep immediately, right?
So not even acknowledging hey babe, come cuddle next to me. He doesn't grab you, he doesn't touch you.
No, we do cuddle, but he I go over to him and cuddle with him.
Okay,
and
no. So I'm asking, there's a reason I'm asking this. So he gets in the bed, almost turns his back to you, and you're laying there, or he... Okay, go ahead.
It was fine. It was normal.
Okay, it was normal. Okay.
But he falls asleep though quite quick. He asked me if I was still watching the thing. He changes the channel and falls asleep. And then in the morning, in the middle of the night, we huddle. He pulls me to stuff like that. But he doesn't initiate sex with me or anything like that. in the morning, it's like he woke up, like he opened his eyes and put his feet on the floor in like the same motion. And then I was kind of in and out of sleep, thinking maybe he went to the bathroom, but he just never comes back. And I was just like, okay. So I texted him.
Comes back. So he got up out the bed at his usual time, because it sounds like he has a routine.
Yeah.
He got up, got himself together, and walks out his house and just leaves you in the bed. Doesn't say anything to you.
Nothing. So I feel like I was asleep though. He thought I was asleep. So, and I kind of was in and out of sleep. And so I texted him, are you at the gym? Like I packed up all my stuff ready to go, because I was like, maybe I'm like annoying him or something like that. So like being here for too long, I don't know. So I was just like, let me just get my shit. So I texted him, hey, I'm leaving. And then he was kind of upset that I was leaving without saying goodbye to him or whatever. But it all was cool still, right? So yeah, I'm also, because he was like, oh my God, you were snoring so much. He sent me like a gif of like whatever, this ugly snoring person. And I was like, who took a picture of you sleeping? It was funny. We were just joking around. What?
He seems like a very particular guy. Like for him to joke about the bath thing, for him to joke about the snoring thing, it sounds like he likes his woman like he only wants to see a woman in this cookie cutter form. I could be wrong, but he doesn't want to see that too soon. It's a lot of things I want to say, but I'll let you keep going.
And so basically, I was very dumb, very, very, very dumb. And I thought everything was cool. And he had already sent me like a card to use for something else. And so I asked him if I could use it for another thing. And like the messaging was just like, after that was just sparse. And then finally the next day he he sent me a very long message about how things were kind of like how he didn't like what things looked like when he got home. I didn't tell him that I was still there, and that asking to use his card was very selfish, and that he doesn't think it's gonna work. And I got really upset, like very upset. And I was like, I hope nobody treats their daughters like this. You had sex with me. You got what you wanted. And now you're just making up shit. Like literally, like I popped off. And I regret having done that. He was still going back and forth with me a little bit, trying to say like he doesn't need to, manipulate women for sex. Like women are all, which is true, it's true. But I was just mad and I was just saying shit. So my question is, girl, I apologize because my therapist is male. And so my therapist was like, girl, you're tripping. So I was just like, telling him stuff. He was like, well, what would it feel like to, tell him? So I like sent him an apology text. Like, I'm sorry for saying all of that. I should have never brought up his daughters ever. And like, whatever. So I sent that, but I didn't hear from him. And so I'm wondering if I should like call him or if I should just drop it.
You should drop it.
Okay.
It's time to move on, and you could take it like as a learning experience. I'm not going to say a learning lesson, but a learning experience.
Guys, so it's pretty insane what happened here. The woman who was listening initially said that the guy got you using the oldest trick in the book. Oldest trick in the book, where this guy had been on numerous dates with you, had pampered you, had taken care of you, and then he asked you to be his girlfriend. And after you became his girlfriend, then you were physically intimate with him. What this black woman who was speaking to her was literally saying was, yeah, girl, despite all of that, you shouldn't have done that. You should have kept him on the hook for months. You don't give it up to him for months. There is no physical intimacy until you have been locked into the relationship for at least a couple of months. How many months? 3 to 6 months, girl. 3 to 6 months, and preferably until there's a ring on the finger. So he should be buying it. He should be wining you, dining you, buying you Gucci and everything that you want. But you should not be getting physically intimate with him until you have him locked down, until there's a ring on the finger, or it's official, like you have him until you're married. So basically, after these women have been in the streets, they've had relationships with lots of guys. Now they need to act like they are virgins and they're not giving it up until the wedding night, if even that. But the guy is supposed to provide for them, protect them, give them his wealth and utility. He gave her a card. So she had a card that she was already able to use to buy things. She told him that she wanted an unlimited Amex. Like, she made it very clear to him that she was only in it for the bag. And she knew what she was looking for, because he was like, he's 6 years older than she is, and she was worried that that was still he was still too young for her, because it's usually better when the guy is much older, because older men will be more generous with younger women and more likely to give up their utility while expecting less. This is absolute nonsense, guys. This is absolute nonsense. And it just shows you how women want to use men. And she basically, when she didn't get what she want, when she felt like he wasn't giving her enough attention or enough validation, she basically became disrespectful and started talking about his children. Bro, no, 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 no. Like, how could you do something like that? How could you do something like that? And it's these women don't seem to understand how easily replaceable they are. This is a high value man living in a penthouse who has a significant amount of money, and he's giving her this extravagant life. And he's just listen to me. He's just joking around with her. He's making normal jokes, and this woman that's interviewing her, speaking to her, is kind of like, oh no, like his jokes are like not, bro. This is a cool dude. He's a nice guy overall. He is definitely a nice guy overall, relatively good guy, very really respectful guy. These women want you to put them on a pedestal and worship them. Never say anything. Don't even make jokes with them. You are wonderful. They want simps. They want wealthy simps that will put them on a pedestal, give them everything that they want. Lives of luxury, and then they'll turn around and say that you're nothing to me. I have my own money, bro. You said you wanted unlimited Amex. That's what I did. But guess what? I have my own money, and I don't need you. I don't need you for anything. I mean, and when I don't get what I want, I'm gonna shame you. This, like, seriously, she had a lot of she has a lot of insecurity. She was pretending to be asleep. She wasn't really asleep. Dude got up, left the room, went to the gym to go and work out. This is a high value man, and he didn't want to wake her, and she knew exactly what he did. And she texted him immediately, and he responded to her. This dude he didn't gaslight her in any way whatsoever. I'm telling y'all, his biggest mistake is the fact that he was messing with an American woman, because it's very clear that they're both of Nigerian descent, but she's obviously an American woman or an Americanized woman, and that's the first thing to go, because she has an straight up American accent. So he should have went to his country, and he should have found a woman back in his country. That was one of the biggest mistakes he ever made. He wanted a woman who was submissive, a woman of Nigeria, who had Nigerian culture. This woman had no Nigerian culture. She couldn't even cook Nigerian food. She was of Nigerian descent, but she couldn't cook. She could not cook Nigerian food. And then there's some other questions in there, because she's saying that she's Nigerian, but I'm like really wondering, is she Nigerian, or did she take an ancestry DNA test and it told her that she was like 68% Nigerian? So now she's walking around saying that she's Nigerian. No, sister, you're an African Americano. You are a Black American. You are not Nigerian. All right, I'm getting really furious with these people that are black and white people taking these DNA tests, and then they turn around saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm 52% Scandinavian, so that means that my ancestors were the Vikings." Like, bro, maybe you need to step back a little bit. Maybe you need to step back a little bit. Just because you have Viking blood doesn't make you a Viking. I'm just gonna be real with you. Just because you have Viking blood doesn't make you a Viking. Just because you have some Nigerian blood doesn't make you African. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Guys, her sugar daddy dumped her when the sex didn't live up to his expectations. What do you think regarding everything we discussed here today? I want to know your thoughts, so let's talk about them in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWAM and walking away. And cheers.